So get this. Memory champions can memorize over 500 random words in just 5 minutes. And yet, most of us walk into a room and completely forget why we're even there. What if I told you that in the next few minutes, you're going to learn the 2,500-year-old trick they use, and it has absolutely nothing to do with being a genius?
Okay, let's talk about this gap, the huge space between you and a memory champion. It isn't a difference in your brain's hardware. Nope, it's a difference in software. See, they've installed this ancient operating system for memory that hijacks a part of your brain you're already using every single day without even thinking about it. And you're about to install it too.
Our story actually begins not in some fancy neuroscience lab, but way back in ancient Greece. It involves a poet, a party, and a terrible tragedy that accidentally uncovered one of the most powerful learning tools ever discovered.
So, the poet's name is Simonides of Chios, and he's at this huge banquet. He steps outside for just a moment, and right then, the roof of the hall caves in, crushing everyone inside. It's a horrific scene, and the victims are, well, they're unrecognizable. But then Simonides realizes something incredible. He can perfectly recall who was there, just by remembering exactly where each person was sitting. And in that one moment of insight, the method of Loci, what we now call the memory palace, was born.
So why on earth did this work? Well, Simonides stumbled onto a fundamental truth about our minds. Your brain didn't evolve to remember abstract facts, or numbers, or names. It evolved for survival. It evolved to remember places.
The technique itself is it's beautiful in its simplicity. You take information you want to remember, and you mentally place it in a location you know really, really well, like your own house. You're not trying to create new memories from scratch. You're just attaching weak, abstract information to the incredibly strong spatial memories you already have.
Think about it. For hundreds of thousands of years, our survival depended on remembering where the good berries grew, where predators liked to hunt, and the path back to the safety of the cave. Our brains became absolute masters of spatial navigation. But today, we're asking that same brain to memorize passwords, legal codes, and vocabulary lists, stuff it was never ever designed for. The memory palace is the bridge that connects those two worlds.
And you know, here's the really cool part. The hard science totally backs this up. In 2003, a neuroscientist named Maguire put memory champions inside an fMRI scanner, and what she found was amazing. Their brains weren't structurally different from ours, but when they started memorizing things, the parts of their brain linked to spatial memory and navigation just lit up like a Christmas tree. They weren't just thinking harder, they were thinking differently. They were turning everything into a journey. And the results are just staggering. If you just repeat something over and over again, you might remember, 40% of it a day later? Maybe. But by using a memory palace, that number jumps to 95%. That is not a small improvement. That's a complete game changer for learning anything.
This hidden superpower is driven by a whole suite of specialized neurons, the discovery of which actually won a Nobel Prize. You have place cells that act like a pin on a map. You have grid cells that literally draw the map itself inside your brain. And you have head direction cells that act like your own internal compass. You have this incredibly sophisticated GPS built right into your head. We're just going to borrow it to remember our shopping list.
Okay, enough theory. The only way you're going to believe this actually works is to experience it for yourself. So right now, together, we are going to build your very first memory palace and memorize a 10-item list. You don't need a pen? You just need your imagination. It's a really simple 3-step process. First, we'll pick a familiar place. Your own home is perfect for this. Second, we're going to place some strange, unforgettable images at specific spots. And third, we'll just mentally walk back through it to recall the list. Ready? Let's do this.
All right, let's begin. Location number 1 is your front door. I want you to vividly imagine opening it, and a tidal wave of milk comes flooding out. It's warm, it's waist deep, and you have to wade through it. Really see it. Okay, now you get inside and go to your coat closet. As you pull the door open, giant, oversized eggs start falling out and cracking open on your head. You can actually feel the slimy yolk running down your face.
Next, you walk over to your living room couch. But it's not a couch anymore. It's made entirely of soft, warm bread. You can smell it. You sit down, and you literally sink into it. Then you look over at your kitchen counter, and it is covered with hundreds of bananas, all peeled, standing on end, and doing a perfectly synchronized little dance routine. Feeling a little hungry? You open the refrigerator. But instead of food, a live chicken jumps out, squawking like crazy and flapping its wings all around the kitchen. You turn to your dining table, and it's covered with tomatoes, but they're the size of beach balls, and they're slowly rolling off the edge and splattering all over the floor.
You decide to escape down the hallway, but the walls are made of melting Swiss cheese, and it's dripping all over the carpet. You can smell it. You duck into the bathroom to wash your hands, but when you turn on the faucet, it's not water coming out. It's steaming hot coffee pouring right into the sink.
Finally, you make it to your bedroom. You open the closet to get changed, but instead of clothes, long, tangled strands of cooked pasta are hanging everywhere. You just give up and decide to go to bed, but your bed is a giant ice cream sundae, complete with whipped cream, sprinkles, and a cherry on top. Okay, now just for a second, close your eyes. Mentally walk from your front door all the way to your bed. See what's at each stop.
Okay, open your eyes. Let's do it together. What was at your front door and the coat closet? The couch? I am willing to bet you just recalled all 10 of those items, perfectly and in order. You see, you didn't just learn a trick, you just activated your brain's hidden superpower.
See? You've just proven to yourself that you can do this. Now, to make this a really reliable skill, you just need to avoid 3 very common beginner mistakes.
The first mistake is being too logical, too boring. A normal carton of milk on the counter? That's forgettable. Your brain sees that kind of thing every day. But swimming through a flood of milk at your front door? That's bizarre. It's exaggerated, and it's impossible to ignore. Your brain is literally wired to remember the unusual. So the takeaway is simple. Make it weird.
Mistake number 2 is rushing through it. Just thinking couch is bread for 1 second isn't quite enough. You have to really spend, say, 5 to 10 seconds truly visualizing it. Engage your other senses. What does that bread couch smell like? How does it feel to sit on? The richer the sensory detail, the stronger the memory trace is going to be.
And finally, don't use the same palace for 2 different lists at the same time. If you use your house for your grocery list today, and then try to use it for a speech tomorrow, the images are going to get all mixed up. The solution here is easy. Just have a small collection of 3 to 5 different palaces. Your house, your commute to work, the layout of your local gym, just rotate between them.
So there you have it. You've learned the history, you understand the science, and you've successfully completed your very first memory palace. That feeling you have right now, that I can't believe that actually worked feeling, that is the first step. Now let's turn it into a real, usable skill.
If you remember only one single thing from all of this, please make it this. Stop fighting your brain's nature. Your brain is an absolute master of location. So the big idea is to use places to remember everything else. This is how you work with your brain's natural strengths instead of against its weaknesses.
So here's your challenge. Tonight, before you go to sleep, choose a palace and memorize a list of 20 things. Not 10, push yourself. It could be a shopping list, key points from a book you're reading, or 20 state capitals. You've now seen for yourself that what looks like a superpower is actually just a skill. And the only thing separating you from a memory champion is a little bit of practice. So, what will you choose to remember?